Hello, I'm Dave. I teach physics at Petrock College. Um, so, hope you're all well. And this is a bit to tell you about physics at Petrock, what we do in this subject. So, it's about the course. So, it's a 2-year course now, linear course. So, you sit your exams after the second year. So, it's the second year. So, when you start this, say you start this year, your exams will be 2 years' time from this year. We then, so let's talk a bit about what we do in the course term. So we follow OCR Physics A. This is our textbook for the course, Physics A, and we go through the spec with something like this. So we start with basic stuff, like quantities, foundations of physics, basics, some of which probably at GCSE level as well. And then we go on to more things like motion and forces, energy, work, and power. And then we go on to look at materials, and then look at Newton's laws in terms of momentum, that sort of thing. Okay. We then go on to looking at circuits, circuit diagrams, what circuits do, different laws of circuits, that sort of thing. And then we move on to, and this is first year still, then we move on to looking at two modules on waves, wave physics, what waves are, what we do with waves, wave patterns, wave interference, that sort of thing. Okay, how we if we have a wave, what can a wave do? Okay, and that sort of thing. And then finally, we look at quantum physics. This is mainly particle physics. That module in quantum physics is basically bringing together everything from the first year into a bundle together. Okay, so it's looking at all the motion stuff, forces stuff, energy stuff, particle stuff from the first year, circuit stuff, and using that theory from those subjects in the final bit of quantum physics. Okay, that's first year content strictly, if you look at it that way. We then look at year 2 with thermal physics, ideal gas, that sort of thing. So gas laws, laws about temperature scale, that sort of thing. Heaters, that sort of physics. We then go on to look at circular motion, what it is, define things in circular motion, that sort of thing. Oscillations. We then look at fields, so gravitational fields, G fields, gravitational field on planets, on the Earth, what gravity is, Newton's law of gravitation, that sort of thing in that section. And then we go on to the more exciting stuff, which is what I love, and that's cosmology, looking at star formation, star birth, star death, the universe age, universe from years gone by, what's happened from the Big Bang to where we are now. That sort of thing. That's very interesting, that is. So you can see we sort of start off in the first term of the first year, some basic concepts. Then we go through up to year 2, looking at more detailed concepts, detailed ideas, and look at different things happening in that process. So we sort of start off simple and go on to more detail in the second year. But the second year stuff is very much heavily reliant on the first year stuff being ingrained fully. Okay. Then we go on to particle and medical physics, where we look at capacitance, electric fields, magnetic fields, B fields, magnetic fields, particle physics, reactivity, so nuclear alpha, beta, gamma particles, nuclear physics, and then finally medical imaging, so X-rays, PET scans, MRI scans, that sort of thing in the final module. Okay, so it covers a whole scope of things in physics, which are quite difficult concepts to understand. So it's a lot of work, okay, but it is rewarding because it's interesting, exciting, and you will learn lots from it. Okay, also a practical subject. OCR now do practical endorsements. They are assessed practicals, which you do at least 12 over the 2-year course, which are marked by myself, alongside the OCR guidelines, and OCR check the marking of those endorsements. They're called PAGs in college. And each module will have a PAG with it, which we do in class. And that relates theory to practice. So the theory you do in class will have a practical related to it. So you practice doing the theory in a practical situation. Okay, which is why it's good fun. Most of them are, and there's a lot of research in these PAGs and a lot of seeing how things work and how things sometimes don't work. Okay, so it is interesting. I find in physics the way to do it is to be have discussions in class. So it's very much, from my perspective of the lesson, is it's sort of your lesson in a way. So I'll introduce the lesson, give you an idea of the concepts, but then you guys will be discussing stuff in lesson as a class sometimes, or in small groups, or something like that. So you'll be getting ideas forward in discussion, asking questions, giving questions to me to answer, or for your friends to answer the lesson. So very much discussion in physics. Okay, it's very much class discussions, group work, in practical, and also just in discussing things about points on the board. Something on the board you think you find interesting, some theory or some concept you want to ask questions on, then that's the way you learn physics. Okay, it's not me standing there for an hour lecturing you. It's very much lecture. It's very much you guys being involved, discussing things as a class. Okay, and that's how we learn. I think that's the best way you learn physics, really, is asking questions and asking ideas from yourself and from your friends around you. Okay, and it can lead to, obviously, in your own time, then research yourself. So something you find interesting in physics, you can then go away that evening or that weekend or in that same day and research a bit more, and come and see me again and say, I found this out. What do you think this is going to be? And I can say, oh, this is so and so. I mean, we have some of that as well. Okay, so I think with physics, it's not one person teaching you; it's more of a class discussion, class effort. Everyone involved with it, so you're all involved in that learning process in a way. Okay, but particularly with practicals, it's very much the point of actually it's not just one person doing it; it's a group effort. And that's why I love it so much, because it's about you guys more. It's not about me. I'm doing it for you guys. So I'm there for you guys to learn, and I'm just there to facilitate that learning in a way to get you talking physics. Okay, I love talking physics. So I think tips for you guys, or one thing actually, assessment. So you're assessed practically, obviously, every module, but throughout the year we do a test in class every 3 or 4 weeks on each module we do. So we finish a module, we do a test, which is going to be past paper questions, which you do in class, and I mark it with you guys with the mark scheme. So you see how you get better exam technique, how you improve your exam technique, and we need to work on to get that next grade up. And they will be graded A, B, C, D, etc. from day one of your course until the final exam in 2 years. So you'll do a test every 3 or 4 weeks based on the stuff in the lesson, each module you finish. And you mark by myself, mark by you, me, with you, with the mark scheme, so you know how to improve exam technique, and what you need to work on to get the next grade up. So you're always ongoing a learning exam technique process over those 2 years in the lesson. Okay? And your exams at end of year 2 summer. Okay, so you've got a 2-year course. In June the second year, be your exam, May and June series. Then tips for you guys before you start Physics at Petrock with me would be to go over your GCSE notes, because we always start in lessons or each module with those basic things from last year, GCSE level. Okay, so your 10 and 11 stuff, you might notice it because I always start with the stuff from the basic level, which is GCSE level, before going on to more detailed stuff involving it. So you'll find a lot of A-level physics is concepts that are the same as GCSE, but a different way looking at it, more mathsy, more definitions, sometimes more complicated things to look at with it, more in depth. So I think if you grasp those your 10 and 11 skills now, you will be in a good place starting in September with me and how we move forward. Okay, so I think for you guys, look over your 10 and 11 notes on physics, and then over the next 2 years, you will find that those notes for GCSE level will be useful for that. Okay, and you will find them useful in lesson, out of lesson, I think, as well, to revise from a bit. So starting point for you would be looking at those notes. Okay. And also anything you're not too sure of. So what I said about, you go through forces and that, pick up on bits you're unsure of now. So when you start off in the autumn term, you can say, I'm not sure on this bit here of this module. in case you're not sure, you can ask me then what the concepts are, basic concepts are again, if you want to. So then we all go forward together at the same rate. Okay, we will start off again, but for you guys to go at stuff now would be ideal. Okay, that'd be fantastic. I think I've said a lot, guys, at the moment. So have a nice summer, and I will hopefully see you in the autumn term. Take care, and any questions, write them down, and then we'll chat about it when we see each other. Okay? Cheers, guys.